So today we're going to talk about Iceland poppies. I know it's only January 11th, but we're going to go ahead and start them anyway. They can handle a little bit of cold, so kind of like the lisianthus and other things, they can be put out before the last frost date. So I'm going to put them out in March, and so I'm starting them today. I'm using a new tray. So last time we kind of talked about what kind of trays I use, and so I do have some really cheap ones that I got off of Amazon that fit about 40 cells in it. This one I got from Bootstrap Farmer online, so as you can see it has way more cells. I think it's a 72 cell, so I've filled it with dirt already, and then in between they're just empty. So it's supposed to provide better air circulation and keep your plants healthier. This is my first time trying it, so we'll see how it does. So Iceland poppies need to be planted in full sun. They do not like the heat, so that's another reason why I'm putting them out in March. I used to wait until after the last frost to put them out, but because our summers start so early and so fast, I realized that the growing time I was giving them was way too short. They need to be out earlier so that I can get a decent cut off of them before they die in the summer. So Iceland poppy seeds are very, very tiny. So let me just show you here. These are the seeds I'm using. They're from Floret. They're called Pastel Meadows, and they're beautiful. They're one of the reasons I started cut flower farming to begin with. You know, everyone has that one flower that really got them into it, and for me, I would say Iceland poppies and sweet pea are the reasons why I got into flower farming. So even though I haven't been extremely successful with these, because I love them, I'm just going to keep trying to master the approach I'm taking to growing them, and hopefully we'll get it right this time. And it's not to say that in the past I haven't been able to get them to grow. They don't all make it before it gets too hot. So Iceland poppies always resent transplanting, but I have found that as long as you aren't digging it out of something and putting it into something else, they do okay. So I plan on taking all the dirt. Hopefully it will have enough of a root system to come out all in one piece and just pop the whole thing. I find that makes it a little bit easier on the plant. So here we have Pastel Meadows. I'm going to put my tag in that I made last year. And I'm going to try to make the whole tray the same thing so it's not confusing. I like to make sure I only get 1 or 2 per cell, because I don't have a hard time germinating. The hard part for me is overwatering, I would say. They tend to like it a little dry, and I'm an overwaterer. So I have to kind of remind myself not to overwater. So you're just going to put it on the top of the soil. You're not going to push it down at all, because it needs light to germinate, and it's, like I said, it's a very, very tiny seed. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I do is I leave it in the pouch, and I just kind of tap the side until I see one fall out. And like I said, they're tiny, so you kind of have to keep your eyes out. Let me see if I can get this down here so you can see what I'm doing. Not like you'll be able to see the seed anyway, but you'll be able to see the method that I'm using. So I'm just lightly tapping it right here. I'm watching as they come down. I can kind of see when one falls out, and it's okay if you get more than one in a cell. It's not the end of the world. In fact, I planted these for the first time in a porch in a pot, and I just put them all in one pot and they did so good. It was like they almost loved being crowded. The good part about this is they're at least black, so you can see them against the pouch they come in. Sometimes when the seed is a lighter color, it's impossible. I think that this package probably has 100 seeds in it. We're about to find out. Okay, once I get all of these put in, I am going to put just a tiny amount of fine vermiculite over the top just to regulate that moisture within the cell. I already have a light growing system plugged in, so I'm just going to leave them under the light so that when they do pop up, they have that light source ready to go. I'm not going to put them on a heat mat. They do not like the heat. I did plant some of these outside this year in the fall, just to try overwintering them. And if it's successful, I think that's the way I'm going to go in the future, just because these are kind of a pain. Yeah, I think there's 100 in here, so we will just about use all of them in this one tray. I will put mine out in March. The edge here. I will plant these about 4 to 6 inches apart. With spacing, I have found that the tighter you space things, the better off things are. Stop eating the dirt. They do better. They crowd out the weeds, right? So you don't have to go in and weed as much. And I don't know, it's almost like they support each other. They keep the ground evenly moist if you have them spaced tight. And yeah, they just do a lot better. So probably 4 inches apart, 4 to 6. I don't know. We'll see how I'm feeling that day. You harvest Iceland poppies at the cracking bud stage. As you go out and look at your poppies, you'll notice that they are rounded on top, but they have a crack down the side, and you can see the color of the poppy coming through. That's when you want to harvest them, because if you wait until they've blown open, they will not last at all in a vase. They, as it is, probably only last, 3 to 4 days in that stage. So I can store them in the cooler for a little while. You have to boil the ends or sear the ends of the poppies to get them to function properly in a vase, right? So the searing helps them take up water, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but you have to sear them in boiling water or with a lighter or whatever you have on hand. And yeah, so we'll come back and we'll check these in a couple weeks and see how they're doing. All right, so here we are, the final setup. I have 3 trays in all of Iceland poppies. I've got them on a timer. They'll get about, I think I have it set at 14 hours of light right now. They are not on a heat mat. The tray domes that I have on top the vents are closed, but if it gets really humid in there, I will open them up and let some of that humidity out. So these will probably take, I don't know, around a week or so to germinate, but I will update you as they do. And I can't wait to see these. I'm so excited. These are my favorite flower to grow. Thanks.